generally the webinar bar is very low, so it's not hard to exceed it. But, all right, well, I think we can go ahead and get started. So hello, everyone. This is our August webinar. I know it's been a while since we've had one kind of in our own home court, so to speak. We've been kind of partnering with a couple of different people last few months and doing some presentations that way, but we're back here in the original setting, and Jana's back doing it. Jana hasn't been a part of that in a while, so
missed it.
Yeah, so this month we're literally just giving you our biggest kind of internal secret away. And this is kind of how we do things internally, especially how I do things for the marketing and the content that I create for Spotlight Branding. But a lot of this is similar to what we do for our clients and in our services. But this is not going to be a sales pitch. This is literally just designed to show you how you can create a ton more content for your firm without having to actually spend a ton of time creating a bunch of content. So we're going to dive super deep into that. And hopefully by the end of it, you can have a good system in place to like quadruple the amount of content, at least, that you're putting out. And so we will show you exactly how to do it. But first, just in case anyone is new here and has not had the honor of being part of one of these great presentations, I am John Henson. I am the marketing manager, content person. I do a lot of other things here at Spotlight Branding. And Jana, who are you other than Jana?
I'm Jana. I'm the business development manager here. I am usually the first person that you would talk to if you were interested in working together. Yeah, that's me. I'm in the red.
Yep, and there will be a big opportunity to talk more with Jana in case you are interested in hearing her talk a lot more. But we'll tell you how to do that at the end. Before we jump in, I do want to let you know about a couple of podcasts that we're doing. We are super duper into podcasts right now. But Law Firm Marketing Minute is our long running podcast. It's been going on for several years now. We've got almost, I think, 300 episodes that we've done, but weekly episodes, short, usually like 10 minutes or less every week, with just some marketing, business development inspiration, and just some, different things that you can do, different things to think about, all that kind of stuff. And then another one, our big one that we launched this year, called Center Stage. We interview attorneys, other industry experts, where we talk about marketing, business development, just obstacles, challenges, everything, just to bring in some good perspective, some outside perspective and insight to help everybody out. And we've had a ton of great conversations there. Always good stuff coming out every Wednesday. And I'm the host of both of those shows, but they are everywhere that you consume podcasts or videos. It's, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Pandora, Spotify, YouTube, all of it. So just search for those, Law Firm Marketing Minute or Center Stage, or both, and subscribe and check those out. So, Jana, please enlighten these wonderful people as to why content is so important to their marketing strategy.
I would love to. So you can see a couple bullet points here, but content is important because it's necessary more now than ever to be part of the narrative that people are already looking at when it comes to being online. One of the big reasons for that is you can see it drives referrals. You might be asking, how do those two things relate? But it's all about top of mind awareness. People with your audience source are coming your way. And there have been studies that say slightly different numbers, but the gist is that it takes 7 of these subconscious reminders for someone to remember a product or service when the time comes. So you want to make sure that you're continuously putting information that's helpful and educational and pertinent to what you do in front of your audience. It also helps you bring those right types of clients. I know referrals are a lot of times very good quality in that they know what you do. They're pretty qualified. They don't haggle too much, but it can help you repel in a way some people that you really don't want to work with. If you're a family law attorney, you probably don't want people calling you with personal injury cases or criminal like problems. You want people that can use the services that you provide and that you offer. And then thirdly, it does a really great job of making sure that you're showcasing yourself as a thought leader and as this credible expert in your field by consistently putting out that content that, educates and lets people know that you know what you're talking about. There's a reason they should contact you and hire you.
Yeah. And the other thing is that it actually helps the rest of your marketing work better. So, look, everyone is still focused on SEO. If you're doing pay-per-click ads, or even if you're doing other things like, television ads, radio, billboards, anything else, having a good content strategy as your foundation helps all of those things actually work better. It helps your SEO convert better. It helps your pay-per-click ads convert better because those landing pages that people are hitting are doing a good job of converting and educating them, a lot better than if you had just started with a lot of those, more focused cold lead generation sort of tactics.
The kinds of content you should be creating. Yes. So you again can see some of the bullet points there. But pieces like blogs, videos, images, things that you're creating, the written, the video, the audio when it comes to podcasts, those are all really important. And equally important is how you actually get those out and the vehicles you use. So social media is a great one for that. Email, all the different podcast platforms that John was mentioning earlier. Lead magnets are a great one that I feel like are underutilized. Would you say so, John, that you don't see those as popular or like as used as they probably could be?
Yeah, it's a great thing, especially if you just have like a free ebook or a white paper, some sort of, download on your homepage. It works as a piece of content, but it also works. It goes to like what you said earlier, elevating that expertise, and acts as that lead magnet. But it can also be something that you share on social media and become just a really foundational part of your marketing. I know, going back to Center Stage, I was talking with someone who runs basically a receptionist company, kind of like Ruby Receptionist, but not Ruby Receptionist. And, we were talking about how your receptionist can actually use those lead magnets as part of your marketing to help people get more educated about your firm and kind of warm them up along that traditional marketing funnel that you may have heard about. So yeah, very underutilized, but very versatile piece of content that you should be using.
Agreed.
I should move to the next slide. There you go.
You do you. So where do you post all these? So like I said, some of the places, the channels are social media, but specifically, we personally love things like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google My Business. Email is, just in the email inbox, send it out through whatever email channel you use, or some sort of a, mass email sender like Infusionsoft, MailChimp, Constant Contact, whatever you have. And that, I know it seems like a lot. We'll talk numbers in just a little bit about how much content you're actually creating, and it can seem overwhelming. But it, like John will talk about, it really comes down to just creating, one piece that you'll be able to multiply, and that's the whole point of this. Obviously, if you are looking for some assistance, let us know. But this is all about how you can do it yourself.
Yeah. So, like what Jana was saying, is you don't have to create a unique piece of content for every single place that you're going to post something. So when we say a piece of content, we literally just mean anything that is either repurposed or just posted somewhere else. Every single post equals one piece of content. So what do I mean by that? So let's say that you take a blog and you share it on Facebook, and then you share the exact same post on LinkedIn. The Facebook post, the LinkedIn post, and the blog itself are all one piece of content. So right there, you have 3 pieces of content. So you can kind of see where we're going to go with this to really explain how you can just take that one piece of pillar content, like Jana mentioned, and multiply it out and really exponentially grow and increase what you're actually posting. And so when you take that approach and you start with just that one piece and you find ways to repurpose it and multiply it out, the process actually becomes super, super easy. So before we get into that, this is a chance. If you have any questions during the Q&A, go ahead and drop it in. If you don't have any, that's fine. I'll just kind of vamp here for about 30 seconds to give you a chance to type it up. But otherwise, what we're about to do is we're about to just go into the actual content multiplication process. I will have a tracker down at the bottom that will show you how that one piece of pillar content will suddenly exponentially just keep growing. And I think you're going to, at the end of this process, you'll have one piece and you'll end up with over 50 different pieces of content that you can post either over a week's time, 2 weeks' time, however aggressive you want to be with it. And one thing to keep in mind before we jump in is that that amount of content is not going to annoy people. You're not going to be spamming people or anything like that. And the reason is that just the way the marketing world is going and just how everyone consumes content right now, there's just a ton of it. And it's so easy for you to get lost and forgotten in kind of just the noise of it all. You know, everything's like, hey, eat here, wear this, listen to this new song, look at this new viral video that came out, you know, all of that stuff. And if you're not in that audience, if you're not, you know, on that metaphorical freeway of content that's just constantly going out, you're going to be forgotten. And that's where we're seeing a lot of small businesses lose opportunities to gain new customers. So I don't think anybody has any questions right now. That's okay. We can run through this, and we have another section there at the end for that. So for this example, let's start with a video. All right. You can start with a blog post. You can start with a podcast for this example. And to get the most out of it, you can get the most out of a video for this particular exercise. All right. So all you've got to do is record a 2 to 3 minute video of yourself just answering a common question that your audience has. What keeps them up at night? What's one of their big issues that is facing your practice area? Whatever it is, just video yourself answering that question. You can take your phone out. You don't have to get a big fancy film set going. You don't have to hire a videographer to come do it. You can take your phone out and you can record yourself doing it. Now, once you have that video, that is your one piece of content. You no longer have to worry about creating something else, thinking of another topic or anything like that. You have your piece of content right there. Upload it to YouTube, upload it natively to Facebook, and upload it natively to LinkedIn, and also embed it on your website. All right. If you don't want to do all that, you can just upload it to YouTube and share the post to Facebook and LinkedIn. But what I've seen is that some of those things tend to perform a little bit better if you're uploading it natively to Facebook. They tend to like that a little bit more because you're using their platform more. But make sure that you're uploading it there. All right. Then share that post or share that video on your LinkedIn's firm page. You're going to have your personal LinkedIn, and you're also going to have a company LinkedIn. Make sure you're sharing that video on both. Make sure you're sharing that video on Google My Business and also a Twitter account. Why all of those different things? Because your audience is going to be in different places. Your audience isn't necessarily going to be in all of the same places all at once. They may, even if they are, they may see your post on their Twitter feed, but they may miss it on LinkedIn. And so making sure that you are diversifying all of the places that you're posting content, but also making sure that, you're hitting everywhere that your audience is hanging out at is very key in that top of mind awareness, and just making sure that you're part of that, community, that you're, getting people's attention, and that you're not being forgotten. All right. The last part of this that is, strictly video related is to just cut a 1-minute clip out of that. TikTok even now has like 3-minute features now, so you don't even have to cut anything if you don't want. But take a short clip out of that and post it to your firm's Instagram page and a TikTok page if you have one. I've seen a lot more attorneys getting on TikTok doing this sort of thing. And so there's a huge opportunity there, especially if that's where your audience, if you have a younger audience, millennials, Gen Z, stuff like that, that's where they're starting to go. And that's where you can get a lot of good information out there. And it's content that people are actually watching and they actually care about. All right. So just with that alone, you can see down there at the bottom right of the corner, you already have 10 pieces of content. All right. And just so we can review here, I'll show you how I got to those 10 pieces. All right. You had the video, that's one. Then you upload it to YouTube. The uploading it to YouTube is the one. Facebook is 2. LinkedIn is 3. Putting it on your website is 4. Then you've got LinkedIn company page, Google My Business, Twitter, and then Instagram and TikTok. And then, yes, I misspoke. The video is the actual piece. So there's your 10 right there. And you immediately already have a good foundation of the pillar content. Now, here's where it starts to grow exponentially. Turn that video into a podcast episode, right? It's totally fine if you have a 3-minute long podcast episode. Law for Marketing Minutes, like 10 minutes. And if I cut out a lot of the stuff that I say, I could probably get it down to 3 or 4 minutes and still have it be just as effective, all right? But how do you do that? You can upload your video into like GarageBand or Audacity or some other, audio editing software, rip that audio from the video. Now you have your podcast episode. Post that episode to your website. Why would you post the video and the audio if it's the exact same thing? Because people consume content differently. Some people prefer video. Some people prefer, listening to podcasts. Whatever the case is, you're making it available in different formats so that people have a choice of how they're going to consume your content, all right? Then once you've got it on your website, whatever hosting platform that you use will give you the ability to syndicate that to Apple Podcasts, to Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, Amazon, Google, whatever. There are so many things. Like Buzzsprout is the platform that we use. It allows us to syndicate to like 20 different platforms, all right? And all 20 platforms equals one piece of content, because it goes back to that point I was saying earlier where our fire alarm's going off. Interesting.
Okay, I thought I heard something. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know if any of you can hear that out there. Honestly,
I'm so sorry.
I'll burn with the building. I don't care.
It's fine. Yeah. If there's an actual fire, they'll come grab us.
It's probably fine, you guys. So hopefully that's not too loud. Hopefully you can still hear me. If it's distracting, let us know in the Q&A, and we can.
I can't tell if I hear it through my thing or if it's. Is it? I can't tell if I'm hearing it through.
Anyway,
we'll find out. Let us know if it's distracting.
Yeah, we'll keep going. But yeah, so everywhere that your show is syndicated, that's one more piece of content by the definition. All right. You can take those audio clips and you can share them to Facebook, Twitter, Google My Business, both of your LinkedIn pages, and it works as an alternate post to that video that you shared. Again, it goes back to the same point that I was making on your website, where, hang on a second here.
You smoke in the background.
No,
I think we're good.
It's probably just
John, can you go to headphone? That might actually help out a bit.
I actually don't have headphones with me.
Would that be cool? Okay. We should probably fix that feature. But no smoke. I don't smell any. I think we're good for now. But continue.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. So yeah, share those audio clips to, Facebook, Twitter, Google My Business, and your personal and company LinkedIn. Again, it's that point that I was making where people may not see the same post in the same spot, especially the way all the algorithms work. They're going to show most things. They're not going to show everything. And also just with everything else that people are following, it could just be that whenever they log on, that's what they see at that given time. So that's why that volume and that different sort of medium is a good way to just make sure that everyone sees your content. So you got a video and now you have a podcast, and now you have up to 22 pieces of content, maybe more if you're syndicating to other platforms. But for this exercise, we have 22 different pieces of content so far. Now, the third main medium is you turn that podcast episode into a blog post. You can also skip the podcast, go straight from video to blog, either way, whatever you want to do. How you do that is you can use an app like Descript. I think Spoke is also a good one that will transcribe your audio to words. That's what transcription means, obviously. I am trying so hard to concentrate. This fire alarm is really annoying.
We got to get you some headphones. Yeah, but you're good. I can't hear
I
it
should
too
probably
much.
invest in those.
I'm doing great.
So
I'm so sorry for
get that audio transcribed. Make some edits. Get all the ums and uhs out of there. Obviously people are speak a lot differently than how they talk. So just take a couple of minutes, get some of those edits out, pare it down a little bit into an actual blog post. A lot less time consuming than if you had sat down to write it all out. Because I know how you lawyers are. You like to make it all perfect. You'll spend 3 hours on a blog post when you didn't really need to. So if you've already spoken out the concept, you can make some edits, get it down to a good blog post. And now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to put that blog on your website. You're going to share it on Facebook, Twitter, Google My Business, your personal and company LinkedIn's. But then what you're also going to do is you're going to go find these forum sites like Quora and Medium. Those are big blogging sites that you can. Well,
you're good.
Just happened outside.
No, they just opened the door. You're good. So it came out louder. You're fine. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So yeah, you'll share that blog on Quora and on Medium, and that's another place to just get out in front of an audience that may have never heard of you before. That's going to do a lot to really elevate that expertise and really show you off as a thought leader. But then the last thing that you're going to do with that blog post is just find 2 or 3 good quotes, some really good nuggets that you said that you can use a software website like Canva to create some graphics that you can post to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Google My Business, and those 2 LinkedIn pages again. All right. You don't even have to have, especially with Canva, because I don't have any graphic design ability, but I can create some decent looking graphics on Canva. And now I've got some Instagram content, and obviously then you post it to the rest of your social media. And once you do that, look now, you have 42 pieces of content. All right. Now, just a little bit more. All right. You can then obviously share the blog, the video, and the podcast, but do it again. All right. Take all of that stuff, share it twice. All right. Because that's going to make sure that your audience definitely sees it, but it also allows you to experiment with a little bit of targeting and some audiences. You can boost Facebook posts to certain audiences. You can promote LinkedIn posts, Instagram posts. You can promote all of your posts to very specific audiences. So if you want to just promote it to people who already like your page and make sure that they see it, because there is no guarantee that they will, you can do that. Or if you want to reach other people in your community who may not know about your firm, but could potentially be a good fit for your services, you can do that there as well. All right. The other thing, and this is a real simple one, is just send an email to your contact list. There's no guarantee that everyone on your contact list is going to see you on social media. There's no guarantee that they're going to constantly check your website for new content. But if you're sending that email out and that pillar content is there, whether it's your video, your blog, your podcast episode, or all 3, who cares? Like, put all 3 different mediums there so people can choose how they want to consume it, and send it out to your email list. And make sure that the subject line is the title of that video or that blog or whatever, so that people know what it's going to be about, who you are, how you can help. All right. Don't just let the subject line be Smith Law Firm newsletter, because people may not connect Smith Law Firm to what you're actually doing or how you can actually help. All right. So in total, that gives you 58 pieces of content when you really just started with 1. All right. So I know that can seem overwhelming. All right. And maybe you don't have a system in place to do that, especially if you're on your own or you don't have an in-house marketing person. So we're still here to talk about with you. All right. What we're going to do is Jana is going to be available to do a free strategy session with you. We can talk about your needs, talk about what you're doing. She can give you some advice on what you can do. All right. It's not going to be a sales call. There's a specific reason why we didn't say consultation or demo or anything like that. It's just going to be a strategy session. No sales pitch whatsoever, unless you want to know how we can help and let us know how we can take it off your hands. But really, Jana's just going to sit there and talk with you, give you some advice on how you can execute this, how you can, multiply that content and get out in front of a bunch of people. All right. So if you're interested in doing that, just go to spotlightbranding.com/schedule and get on her calendar and have that conversation with her. I'm also available if you want to talk. You can email me at john@spotlightbranding.com. And that is going to do it for this presentation. I apologize